Deep in the forest, where even the birds feared to break the silence, a faint groan echoed. No one expected to hear it, but it was there. It was a sound that changed everything. Angela, a single mother living in the small town of Greendale, Vermont, never thought her ordinary walk with her son Nick would turn into something extraordinary. But fate had other plans. It was a cold October evening in 2023. The leaves had already begun to fall, covering the ground with a golden carpet. Angela and her son Nick were walking along a forest trail, enjoying the afternoon sun. Nick, an 8-year-old boy with an unbounded imagination, ran ahead, his laughter echoing through the forest. "Mom, look!" Nick shouted, pointing at a huge oak tree. "It looks like a castle from a fairy tale." Angela smiled, watching her son. She loved these moments when they could forget their worries and just enjoy each other's company. But their tranquility was disrupted by a strange sound. "Mom, did you hear that?" Nick asked, suddenly stopping. Angela perked up. She had heard something too, something like a groan. They looked around, but there was no one in sight. The sound repeated, and this time it was clearly audible. "Help me!" a voice whispered. Angela and Nick exchanged glances. They didn't know what to do, but instinct told them that someone needed help. They began digging the ground under the oak tree, where the sound was loudest. Their hands quickly grew tired, but they didn't stop. Finally, their efforts were rewarded. They discovered a small hatch, hidden under a layer of leaves and dirt. With great difficulty, they opened the hatch and saw a man lying below. He was weak, emaciated, and barely breathing. His clothes were torn, and his face was covered in dirt and blood. Angela and Nick helped him get to the surface and carried him to the nearest house. The man, who introduced himself as Leo, slowly regained consciousness. He told them an incredible story of how he had been betrayed and left to die in the forest. His wife and best friend, with whom he had built a successful business, had decided to get rid of him to take over his fortune. They had staged everything to make his disappearance look like an accident. Angela and Nick were shocked by this story. They couldn't believe that such things happened in real life. But Leo was alive, and that was the most important thing. They decided to help him regain his strength and reclaim what rightfully belonged to him. Over the next few weeks, Leo lived with Angela and Nick. They took care of him, fed him, and supported him. Leo gradually recovered, and his strength returned. He began planning how to reclaim his fortune and punish those who had betrayed him. Over the next few weeks, Leo lived with Angela and Nick. They took care of him, fed him, and supported him. Leo gradually recovered, and his strength returned. He began planning how to reclaim his fortune and punish those who had betrayed him. One evening, as they sat by the fireplace, Leo told them about his plan. He intended to return to the city and meet with his former partners. He wanted them to see him alive and well, to realize that their plan had failed. "I don't want revenge," Leo said. "I just want to reclaim what rightfully belongs to me." Angela and Nick supported his decision. They knew it wouldn't be easy, but they believed in Leo. They decided to help him in this endeavor. The next day, Leo set off for the city. He met with his former partners in their office. Their reaction was unexpected. They were shocked to see him alive. Leo calmly explained to them that he knew about their betrayal and that he intended to reclaim his fortune. "I don't want to sue you," Leo said. "I just want to reclaim what belongs to me." The partners tried to justify themselves, but Leo didn't listen. He knew the truth was on his side. In the end, they agreed to return his share of the business and compensate for the losses. Leo returned home to Angela and Nick with good news. He had reclaimed his fortune and could now start a new life. He was grateful to Angela and Nick for their support and help. "You saved my life," Leo said. "I will never forget that." Angela and Nick were happy for him. They knew that their help had changed his life, and that was the most important thing. Several months passed. Leo had fully recovered and started a new life. He opened his own business and helped other people who found themselves in difficult situations. He never forgot what had happened to him and was always grateful to Angela and Nick for their support. One evening, Leo invited Angela and Nick to dinner at a restaurant. They had a wonderful evening, reminiscing about the past and making plans for the future. Leo told them about his new projects and how he was helping other people. "I want you to know that you will always be a part of my life," Leo said. "You saved me, and I will never forget that." Angela and Nick were touched by his words. They knew that their help had changed his life, and that was the most important thing. When they returned home, Angela and Nick sat by the fireplace and began to recall the day they found Leo in the forest. They couldn't believe that all of this had happened to them, but they were happy that they had been able to help him. "Mom, do you remember how we found Leo?" Nick asked. "Of course, sweetheart," Angela replied. "It was one of the most important days of our lives."